There's a lot of them. A lot of different types of unicycles out there. A couple of different ways to categorize the most popular unicycles. And the most obvious is by wheel size. The most common wheel sizes you'll find are 12-inch, 16-inch, 20-inch, 26-inch, 32-inch, and 36-inch. There's other sizes in between. This is a 26-inch wheel, 16-inch wheel. As you can see, I spray painted it. A 36-inch. This is actually a 19-inch wheel. I'll go over this more in a minute. That's the first major way that you'll see unicycles categorized. These unicycles look a lot different from one another, and they obviously serve different purposes. Wheel size isn't, in my opinion, the best way to categorize unicycles. It's just kind of a feature of them. Street unicycles, like the Impact back there, their characteristic is they're almost always 20 inches. With Impact unicycles, they're technically 19 inches, but really they're 20 inches when you take into account also for, I'm just gonna move you. When you take into account for the height of the tire, it's 20 inches. The distinction between trials and street is street/flatland will most commonly have a flat part at the top of the frame, which allows the user to put their feet on it for tricks. Dedicated trials unicycles are usually a smoother frame. Trials and street unicycles are fairly similar as far as I know. In fact, I use the Impact Regnant, which is supposed to be a flatland street unicycle for trials riding. Club unicycle. A lot of people's first unicycles, the thickness of a club unicycle tire is usually about 1.92 inches. It's a relatively thin tire, really meant for indoor events. It's meant for clubs, to be ridden around in gymnasiums, that sort of thing. Giraffes are the tall unicycles. They most commonly are either 5 or 6 feet. There are also giraffes that you can extend to really as tall as you want. They have a chain that connects the cranks and pedals to the wheel. Mountain unicycles differ a lot from one another. Mountain unicycles can range from 20 inches up to about 30 inches in that range. The reason for the huge range in wheel size in mountain unicycles is because people use them for different applications. Some people like having a smaller wheel because they focus on more technical aspects of the trails, a la trials in the woods essentially. While other people want a larger wheel to better accommodate for mountain unicycle trails, which are typically long. So it's nice to have a larger wheel, you can travel faster. Mountain unicycles typically also have a braking system, especially for the larger wheels. A lot of people think brakes on a unicycle, how does that work? The word brake is misleading. It is a brake, most commonly hydraulic disc brakes. It's more used for when you're going downhill. It's nice to half press the brake. It slows down the wheels and it makes it easier to pedal. If you think of the physics of a unicycle, if you slam on the brakes, you're gonna go head forward. The brake is there to help slow you down when going downhills. The range of the tire width also varies a lot. The Hatchet has about a 4.5 inch width tire. You can go all the way down to like a 2.5 inch thick tire. And again, it varies in application and what the rider is trying to do. Converted penny farthings. During the conception of the sport, what people do is they would remove the handles off a penny farthing and put a seat post on top. That's a oversimplification, but it's essentially a unicycle then. They're still popular. There's still a community out there that does that. Touring unicycles, that would be something like the Nimbus Oracle, a large wheel, either 30 or 36 inches. And the reason for that is a larger wheel, each rotation of the pedals is worth more distance, so you'll be able to go faster. And once you're moving, it's a little tough to get started, but once you're moving, you will exert less energy than if you would, say, on like any wheel size smaller than that. Chris Holmes does make a geared 26-inch unicycle. The way that works is inside the hub is just a simple gear differential. What the user can do is with the side of their foot, they can push in a button which basically turns the 26-inch into, I think, about a 48. It's the best of both worlds. When you're going up more technical trails, you can switch over to having just direct drive like a traditional unicycle. And then when you need, or when you want more speed, you can switch that over. So when people talk about unicycles, they talk about them having a fixed wheel, which means that the pedals and the cranks are attached to the wheel, which is almost true. There are two exceptions that I can think of. The first is freewheel unicycles. They're not super popular. I've personally never tried one. From what I've heard, they're remarkably difficult to use. The easiest way to go about making one would be to take a hub from an adult tricycle. So that way you can pedal and stop pedaling and the wheel will still keep going. There's a few videos online of people using a freewheel unicycle. And there's a couple of people that are really talented that can actually mountain unicycling with a freewheel. But again, it's very difficult. I don't think anyone offers it out the gate. It's something that you would have to buy the hub yourself, make sure the hub is the right size and interfaces with your cranks, and then take it to a bike shop and replace the spokes or do that yourself. The other would be the aforementioned Chris Holmes gear unicycle. Even that system, from what I understand, in the higher gear. So if you stop pedaling, the wheel will stop too. Racing unicycles, I'll mention briefly. If there's a racing group in your neighborhood or town, most of the time they will use club unicycles. But I have seen videos and photos online of people that have built custom unicycles with more traditional, really thin race bike tire. Clubs actually go for smaller wheels. That's because even though a 36-inch unicycle could go faster, having a bunch of people next to each other trying their absolute hardest to go as fast as possible on something that's tall isn't that great of an idea. For me, a 26-inch wheel or higher, when I'm on the unicycle, I'm taller than when I'm physically standing on the ground by myself. Hi, finishing editing the video, I saw that I omitted 3 types of unicycles, and my goal was to make this video as comprehensive as possible, so I just want to include them quickly. The first is a 3-wheel giraffe. Different from a regular giraffe, instead of using a chain, it uses wheels to power that bottom wheel. The second is what's called an impossible wheel. That is a wheel with a pole that goes through it and a place to put on your feet on both sides. It's the type of thing that you set on the top of the hill and then you roll down with it. Very difficult. The final thing is the ultimate wheel. It is like the impossible wheel in that it doesn't have a frame. The only difference is that with that it has pedals placed in such a way where you actually can pedal it. Thanks for watching. That's it. Goodbye. I forgot 2 more things. Offset unicycle. That's a unicycle that you make from a regular bike frame, and on top of that, there are photos online of people that have taken a bike frame and made a 2-passenger unicycle. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.